Hey DIYers, I'm George from Alarm Grid. Today we're going to be going over how to use the SiX programming feature on the Lyric alarm system controller. Alright, so to start off, just want to touch a little bit on what the SiX programming is and how to use it. So the SiX programming is one of the easiest ways that you're going to be learning in SiX series devices. Today, I'm going to be working with a SiX combo, which is a smoke, heat, and CO detector. And I'm also going to be working with a SiX CT. Now, again, this works with any SiX devices that you have, whether it's a SiX keypad, SiX PIR, SiX Mini, SiX glass break. Any SiX series Honeywell sensor will work with the SiX programming feature that we have. Now, generally, this feature will work easily as long as the sensors have not been learned into a panel. So sometimes if your sensor, when you go to turn it on and you see that the green light is fast blinking, which I'll show you guys when I go to install it or program it in, if you see that the green flash is a steady green light and it's not fast blinking, that means it's been paired previously, so you're going to have to default it. The easiest way to default a sensor is to hold the tamper and install the battery, and then you should see the green light start blinking fast again. And again, I'm going to show you all of this when we actually get to the programming. So the first thing we do need to do is put the panel into programming mode. I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So let's say you're on the primary screen, which is the screen here shows you the date, time, temperature if you have the location, and it has all these different options. You want to make sure that you hit security. After you hit security, you need to go into tools. It's going to ask you for a code to enter in. Now you need to enter in the installer code in order to get to this feature. So mine is actually defaulted at 4112. Yours may have been changed if your monitoring company or yourselves have changed it. So I go to tools, I enter in my installer code 4112, and you want to make sure you get to this screen. Programming, test, events, update firmware, and new panel association. Alright, if you're not at this screen, that means you are not using the correct code. You want to make sure you use the installer code. So after you're at this screen, you hit program, top left, you hit the down arrow key one time, and now you should see the SiX programming in the bottom right hand corner. Once I'm in SiX programming, it actually lets me know all you need to do is remove the battery tab, insert batteries, or activate device. So most of these sensors already come with the batteries installed, and they come with a little tab that you pull, which will activate the battery in the sensors. Right now I have mine uninstalled so I can show you guys what it's going to look like. So I'm going to start off with the SiX combo just so you guys can see how easy this system actually programs the zones in automatically when I do the SiX programming. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tilt the back cover off. Now normally if you guys were learning this in manually, you would have to enter in each serial code, which the SiX combo has two different serial codes, right? One for the smoke heat and the other one for the CO. When I do the SiX programming, it's going to learn all the zones in for me, and you can go in and edit them. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start inserting the batteries. You're going to see that around the time that I put the second or third one in, the sensor will turn on. This green light right here will start flashing, and then it'll start rapidly flashing green. That's how you know that the sensor has not been learned into a previous panel. If it's a steady green and it doesn't blink, that means it's learned into a panel and you will need to default it. Alright, so I'm going to start inserting the batteries. That's 1, 2, where's this one? Okay. 3, and then my fourth one, 4.
Enrollment successful.
So now we have a steady green light. It was steady. It enrolled into the panel. Now, if you look at the system here, you see that it has a serial number, just the first general one, which is a 6 smoke-CO. But if I go into edit, it's going to actually show me that it learned in the smoke, heat, and the CO. Now, if you want, you can actually go into the description. You can give it a name right there from that screen. Description 2. You can have one go, all go. What that means is if you have multiple of these, let me see if, Yeah, so if you select one go, all go, and you have multiple SiX combos or smokes or COs or anything like that that are SiX devices, one go, all go means that if one of them goes off, then it's going to start making each one of the SiX combos or SiX smokes or COs all over the house go off as well. So it's not just that one sensor going off, it's going to relay the message, and every one of the SiX smoke COs are going to go off, or the SiX combos. All right. You can actually hit if you want to verify for the smoke, right? So for smoke detectors, you have a fire with verification or fire no verification. What that means is if once it's mounted, let's say you have it in the kitchen. You know, sometimes when you're cooking, smoke goes up to the chamber. Well, if you have it um, fire with verification, what it does is the smoke goes into the chamber. You then have 30 seconds before the sensor checks again to see if there's still smoke in there. That gives you time, especially if it's in the kitchen again, to grab a towel and just air the smoke out of there, especially if you've been cooking. Obviously, if this is like in a living room, second floor, something like that, you may want to leave the verify off, as you don't want the sensor to have to recheck. As soon as it senses the smoke, it automatically sends a signal to the panel and out to the central station. So you can actually also select here if you want one of them disabled or not. So like, let's say I didn't want to do CO, I can just tap that and it won't learn it in. If I didn't want to do heat and I wanted to do CO, you could do that. You can turn off the alarm report. Don't think that's something you'd want to turn off, especially if you're being monitored by a central station, as if you turn the alarm report off, that means the system will not send the alarm signal for that zone or sensor out to the central station. So if you're being monitored by a central station, make sure you have the alarm report turned on for sure. All right, I'm going to leave all three enabled. Yeah, so again, it's just a simple tap, and it actually lets me know what zone they're all being learned into. So you see, give me a moment, I'm going to disable them all and then re-enable them just so I get a nice order here. So it'll learn into zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. All right, I'm going to hit save. By the way, the reason to learn into zone 3 is because the first two zones are the Lyrics hardwired zones. Yeah, so your wireless zones for the Lyrics start at zone 3. All right, now that is my SiX combo, and just to show you guys that it works with all of the SiX series devices, I am going to show you guys now the SiX CT. So again, this one usually comes with a battery tab if you're first time opening it that you just pull out. I have my battery uninstalled. You're gonna see as soon as I put my battery in, let me see, okay. As soon as I put my battery in, it should populate on this screen. The green light starts rapidly flashing green, and then it just takes a second or two for it to populate into there. Give me one moment. I'm going to see if I put the cover on, if it activates anything. So right now I see the green light blinking through the white case. And there we go. So you guys can literally leave your Lyric on this screen. And if all your sensors are SiX series, you can literally just pull the battery tabs, remove and reinsert the battery, and all of the sensors that you're learning in will populate in on this screen. It's going to make programming so much easier for you guys. And again, since I just learned my SiX CT in, I can go ahead and click on the SiX contact right here. I can hit edit, and you'll see right there it automatically learns in as a read switch. It learns into zone 6. And if you hit edit, you can actually go in and change the zone description. I'll change mine to, let's say, front door. Yeah, the device type, I'll switch it to door. Entry type, I'll leave it as entry exit. And again, it gives you all the same options. Alarm report, yes, if you want it to chime, if you want it supervised. If you want to check the serial number just to make sure, you can go ahead and match it up, serial number with serial number. And it all has it there. If you guys want to do the same thing with the smoke combo, with the SiX combo, you guys can also match up the serial numbers and make sure everything is correct. But again, if you're doing the SiX programming feature, you can honestly get every SiX device, pull the battery tabs, and they'll learn it automatically. If you guys do have any questions on this SiX programming feature, feel free to email us. Our email is support@alarmgrid.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you hit like underneath, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and enable notifications so whenever we upload new content, you guys do get notified. I'm George. I'll see you guys next time.